Many of us think surrender means weakness. They believe if we surrender, we will become lazy, passive, or stop taking responsibility. Some even say we have free will, so why should we surrender? But the truth is, surrender is not weakness. It is wisdom. Surrendering to God does not mean you stop doing your duties. It simply means you do your actions sincerely, but stop trying to control the outcomes. You act with full awareness, but you let go of the burden of controlling everything, because you realize that there is a higher power holding and managing the entire universe, including your life. It's not blind faith, but a deep realization that God is the true controller. And when you understand this deeply through your intellect, surrender happens naturally. You do not need to chant any special mantra or do anything extra. Once this understanding becomes clear, surrender flows from within. Now that we understand what surrender truly is, the next question is, how can we actually develop this understanding so that the feeling of surrender naturally begins to grow? To help with this, here is a simple reflection practice you can start today. Contemplate these 3 lines. We came from nature, we grow through nature, we will return to nature. Let's break this down. Number 1, we came from nature. Ask yourself, how did your body come into existence? It's not something you created. It grew because of the food you ate, the water you drank, the air you breathed, and the sunlight you absorbed. All of these came from nature. So your very existence is built by nature. We grow through nature. Now look within. Every moment, countless processes are happening inside your body without your control. Your heartbeat, your breath, digestion, blood circulation, brain activity, etc. Even a simple action like moving your body requires many complex systems. Your brain sends signals, nerves carry instructions, muscles move, blood and oxygen support the action. And yet, you are not doing any of this consciously. Everything you do and achieve is supported by something far bigger than you. This is nature. And if you zoom out further, the earth is rotating, the sun is rising, the universe is expanding, all without your doing. So who is really in control? Number 3, we will return to nature. Just as nature supported your birth and your growth, one day this body will grow old. This vehicle you call my body will dissolve back into nature, just like everything else. Now, take time to sit with this reflection. It may not click instantly, but the more you think about it, the more it will sink in. And as this understanding deepens, your ego will begin to soften naturally. You will begin to see that everything, including yourself, is held, supported, and finally returned by something much greater. That is when surrender starts to blossom, not out of fear, but out of understanding. And once this realization settles in, once your mind and intellect truly grasp that nature is controlling everything, including your own body, go one step deeper. Realize that even nature is not functioning on its own. Nature itself is being guided and sustained by something higher, and that is God. In chapter 9, verse 18 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that He is the origin, the end, and the resting place of all creation. This means nature may appear to give us life, sustain us, and take us back when we die. But behind nature, is God, silently holding it all together. Now, it might feel hard to understand because unlike nature, which we can see, we haven't seen God. So how can we truly understand something we cannot see? To answer that, we need to look even more closely at nature itself. Let's take a deeper look. Nature is made up of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. If you observe carefully, everything in the natural world is formed from a combination of these 5 elements. Take a simple example. To grow a plant, you need earth for the seed to grow. You need water to nourish it. You need sunlight, that is fire, for energy. You need air for life. And most importantly, you need space. Space to grow. Now think about this. Out of all 5 elements, there is one that is the subtlest and most essential, and that is space, also known as Akasha. Without space, nothing else can exist. There would be no room for earth, water, fire, or air to even operate. It is so subtle that we usually overlook it. But space is not nothing. Even science now agrees that space is not empty. Modern physics says that space has energy, structure, and even density. So space is something, not just a void. And if space is something, then it must have come from somewhere. And that somewhere is God. Now, if you reflect deeply on this and combine it with what Krishna says in the Gita, that He is all-pervading, the origin and resting place of creation, you will begin to see with your intellect what cannot be seen with your eyes. You will begin to realize that the entire structure of nature is resting in God. This understanding, when it grows, naturally deepens your surrender towards God, not through fear, but through clarity. But remember, the first step of understanding that nature is controlling everything also brings peace and starts to cultivate surrender. This may not feel like direct surrender to God yet, but it creates a deep sense of connection and respect toward nature. That's a beautiful step forward on the path of bhakti. It makes you more aware of yourself and your surroundings and helps you feel more sensitive and connected to the natural world. But when you go even deeper and realize that God is the one silently holding everything, including nature itself, your surrender moves to an even higher level, bringing you a sense of peace that is truly lasting. But of course, this understanding takes time. It won't happen in a day. It may take days, weeks, or even months. But as this realization grows, you won't need to force surrender. Your attitude will shift on its own. And surrender will begin to happen naturally. So keep contemplating. Use your intellect. Fill your mind with deeper questions. And as your understanding deepens, your surrender to that divine force, the one silently holding everything, will happen naturally.